All right, good evening, everyone. It's now 6 o'clock on this July 24th of 2023. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Jacksonville work session. I'll now call this meeting to order and roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Laster?
Here.
Mr. Galloway?
Here.
All right, item 3 is the acceptance of the minutes. Any questions, comments?
No, sir.
Additions, deletions? All right, hearing none. Thank you, Brenda. Item 4 is the new City Hall. Got a lot of things happening. If you've not been by City Hall and kind of walk through, make sure you have a hard hat. There's a lot going on. Closed-toed shoes and a hard hat.
And pants.
And pants. Well, I hope you have on pants. That's a different.
No
different yeah.
What kind of pants?
So we've got.
Chief can tell you what's
all right.
legal, what's not.
We've got Phyllis Deal. She is the one that's doing all our furnishings, and we've got colors, and she's got we asked her to do kind of a storyboard, what things are going to look like, to kind of give a thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of see where we're going on all this. Ma'am, it's yours. Thank you for being here. And your assistant?
This is my son's son. Yeah. He's home. He can work from home this week, so he's home visiting with his mama. Okay, if I put this here, will that work for pretty much everybody?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I think so.
Okay, first off, let me just say a big thank you to the mayor and to Patty and Ms. Burke. Everyone has been so helpful in gathering the information for me and getting all this together. It's made it so easy for me. This is just a myriad of different things that we're doing. So I'm gonna start right over here real quick. I'm sorry that you can't see. Okay. First, we were talking about the entryway, when you first enter the building, the lobby area. And we had talked about doing a bench of some sort. As you walk in to the right, where the seating area will be, there's so many doors to the left that there's really not room to do a whole lot there, except for in the little niche that's to the left, straight in front of it. And we were looking at doing a little table, something similar like this. Now, the colors that are on here aren't necessarily the colors that we're doing as far as the pictures go. I couldn't always get the pictures in the color of what we're talking about doing. And then this is what's called a half sofa. We're trying to do something that was, we had talked about a bench, and I really haven't had a chance. I sent you an email, but we didn't have a chance to talk today. And I changed up just a little bit. That wall is so long. I wanted to have some kind of back on it, just a little bit of back to give it a little more depth. And then we talked about doing a table and a chair. Very simple. And what we're looking at doing color-wise there is this vinyl right here. And if you look at it with, if I could borrow the floor for a moment, that would be helpful, because that'll kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. If you look at the flooring, doing the vinyls in this, what this is here is this would be the wood that would be on this piece, and it's hard to see, and I'm going to leave this here with you, but it's this wood that runs around the side and bottom of this, and it runs around the sides of the club chair. And this would be the painted part of the credenza that we're using. And then this would be your metal legs on that. So that's just basic for the lobby. Not a whole lot, but enough to make it look interesting.
I got a question on the
Yes.
sofa right there. How high is it?
I don't have the height. It's probably 33 to 34 inches high, if I had to guess. That's a guesstimate. It's going to be somewhere in that range, but I can certainly get that figure for you. 72 inches long, that I know. I don't know the height, because we changed from the bench to I changed from the bench to the little half sofa. So that would be the entryway. Next would be room 103, which y'all are probably more interested in than just about everything else, because that would be the council chambers. Also, it's called a meeting room. I call it 103. That's the room number. We're looking at this chair here for the council chairs. And there is a sample of this at the mayor's office right now. If you'd like to come by and see it, Tony, I know you got a chance to see it the other day. And what we're looking at, we talked about it, and we think just plain black would be good. So it would have a black seat. This is a mesh covering over the mesh. It makes it a little bit softer, but all in black for that chair. We're looking at this, that chair for the audience chairs. And we had talked about doing it in a gray or black. That can be a decision that we can make later on. I put it in the black here, but we can certainly change it to the darker gray either way on that. This will be the conference table, very, very similar to what you're sitting at. We decided to do what's called a boat shape. That one is more of a rectangular. Boat shape will give you a little more curve to it so people can see each other a little better.
That same style of table is already at the train depot. If you go into the where the, if you look right there. We were actually sitting around it the other day when I looked and said, is this not it?
Yeah, so something like that. And the coloring on that is gonna be the coloring that we have chosen for the entire complex. And if you look right here, this is the color combination that we're looking at. This will be from pretty much all the case goods. And we're looking at doing a black base on the desk and case goods, and then this is the top. This is called totem, and it just matched so well back to the flooring. And you have to be kind of careful with wood floors like that. If you do it all in wood, it just all blends together. The black breaks it up, so it really looks sharp. If you've seen the Board of Education, that's what we did over there, was the black with a different color top. It really looks nice, because these floors are beautiful, but sometimes they're hard to work with colors. So that would be the conference table there. And like I said, it's just a boat shape like this. This right here is the chair that we're looking at to go around the table. It will match back to the council chairs. It's just a shorter version of it. This one has a headrest. This is just a medium back, but they'd be in the same fabrics, so it all match together.
Thought the headrest would be nice for you, Terry, in case you doze off.
Sometimes I will. I appreciate that thoughtfulness, because it could
Now,
happen.
there was a chair that was more of a, describe the other chair that was there.
I don't.
It was a more,
It was a little more plush.
It was plush and it was a little bit-
an all fabric or an all vinyl chair.
but it was several $100s more. And no longer than we'll be hopefully sitting in those seats. I didn't know if it was,
It was worth it.
right. I mean, it was a nice chair. If it was your everyday office chair, that'd be a nicer an executive chair, but I think if we could save a couple $100s per chair, why not?
I don't think opulence matters in that.
Well, no,
case,
all you're gonna see is the top
Yeah.
anyway.
And if you get a chance to go and sit in it, that would be great. But the one thing about this is it adjusts to different folks.
Yeah.
It has a back adjustment, it has a seat adjustment, of course, up and down, the arms go up and down and in and out. So it can adjust to different sizes. If you have someone that's shorter or someone that's taller, you can adjust it.
Somebody wider.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, I'm not saying
Does
you
it have
know.
a massage button?
It doesn't have that. I do have.
Is that what you want?
Yes.
But those tend to break really easy, so we don't want to.
No, the massager. We hope not to be in those chairs long enough for a massage.
But you can lean back.
It'll just
What would be the
calm us
cost?
down.
Because I always had, and I think we had some discussions, like Chief's got over the police, they got the logo and the back of it. Is that chair wouldn't work with that, would it?
You have to get a company that does that. There are certain companies that do that. I haven't checked into it. Be glad to check into
Now,
that.
if it's gonna be probably cost a lot of money, it's a specialty item probably.
Yeah.
I honestly just don't, I've not done any with the logo, so I really don't know what the difference
That was just a
would be.
thought,
I can
no
print it out
problem.
and staple it on your chair.
Well, can we just get somebody embroidery, and just hang them over the
Yeah,
back?
there you go, we can do that.
I'm good.
Or woodworking.
Kind of like a turtleneck, put it over,
Like a little
put it
bit.
over the
Yeah.
headrest and it can come
No
down.
problem.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what we're looking at for the meeting area, okay? This next area, let me just put that there, would be what I call 132, 133. It's the two offices that we took the wall out to make into what I call your meeting area.
Executive council chambers or
Yes,
meeting
yes.
room.
And what we're looking at doing there is a table like this, and it just has the metal legs instead of the bases. I just wanted to spruce it up just a little bit, because I assume this is where you probably are gonna bring people that are looking at maybe coming to the city or whatever. It's just a little different look. It's a little more contemporary look. But it'll be in that same color as this with the black legs. Doing the same chair in there that we're doing around the table that's in 103. Reason being, that way if you need extra chairs wherever, you just move them back and forth. They all look the same. Makes sense to do that. Then in there, we do have room for one small piece. Well, it's not really small, but we're gonna do a credenza on one of the walls, and it has room to put a refrigerator in. So you'd have to buy the refrigerator, it doesn't come with it. But this kind of shows you
installed.
right here what you can do, and this is the piece right here. And I know that's hard to see, it was the only color I could get it printed in. But that's what we're looking at for that particular room. This here is pretty much the offices. And we did speak with every person that has an office, went over what their needs were, what they wanted, and tried to pretty much give everybody exactly what they needed. There are some U groups, there's some L groups, there's some hutches. A couple of the offices have tables, not many. A few have small conference tables that where people needed to be able to meet. I've got drawings on all the offices, but I just put a few different looks, and there again, we're talking this coloring here. One thing that the mayor had specified was for everyone to have some sort of storage unit in their office where they could hang coats, put boots, put purses, whatever, so that it wouldn't look so cluttered. So each office will be getting either a single or a double wardrobe storage unit. This is just a little table that we've used in some of the offices, and this is, so I just put that on there. It's just a basic table, but something like that. This is the seating for all of the executive offices except for the mayor and for Patty, because they're in the executive unit, so they're gonna get something just a tad different. But this will be the seating that's in everyone's office, and this is the seating, this will be the fabric on the seat, and it's gonna have a mesh back with an overlay over it, and the swivel and the side chairs. And if they have a table, they'll get probably the armless version of this. It'll all be the same, everything's gonna be the same color. So there again, mix and match, but it'll all be the same. And I did have a sample of it, I can bring another one up, but they had sat in, and I think, Ms. Burt, did you get to sit in that one? I'm not sure if you did.
I did not.
You didn't. I know Patty, you did, and some of the others. I don't know if you I think everybody pretty much liked the way it sat. It's a really comfortable, good, sturdy, just office chair. So we did a lot with that. Okay. These right here are your paint colors, and I put them right here also so that you can see. This is the wall color, so that's the main color that we've been working with. Okay. On to the mayor's waiting area, which isn't very large. It's kind of a pass-through, so we're doing a sofa with 2 club chairs and an end table. This grouping here is what we're looking at doing in this color combination here. And then in the mayor's office, because of how his windows are, we're doing a whole row of when you walk into the office, it would be that right-hand wall. There are 2 big windows in there, but we're doing a whole row of storage and in between the windows, and doing some taller pieces similar to this on either side of the window. And then he'll have his desk, a double head desk. And then we're gonna have 2 club chairs over to the side, and the club chairs are gonna be in this fabric here. And then 2 side chairs in front of his desk, which is gonna be in this vinyl right here. And we decided to do, somehow it didn't get put on here. Anyway, in his office, we decided to do a 36 by 72 racetrack table, or oval type table. We had a round one, it was kind of small. That office is relatively large. So we're gonna put seating for 6, a table for seating for 6. And it'll be this chair here in the armless version, and it'll be in this same fabric, so that you have, when you walk in the room, the club chairs will be here in that fabric. And the table right now, we might swap it up a little bit, but right now the table's supposed to be in front of where your little, say bar area, but your little sink area. And it'll be,
The comfy chair needs to be around the bar area.
Can we go back over that word bar again?
yeah, well. And it'll be this, and then these will be.
Coffee bar.
These will be in front of his desk, and this is what his desk looks like. So it'll be kind of monochromatic when you first walk in, but both sides will have that striped fabric. And even if we swap them and put the club chairs more on this side and the conference table here, you still get that same cross look of the stripe on that. And all of his wood on all of his seating is going to be in a black frame on this floor. So I think it's going to really look, it'll pop on that. And this just kind of gives you an idea of what I'm talking about across the back. It's not exact, but it kind of gives you an idea of that long look that we're looking at. Okay. Up here is the metal that's mainly in the file rooms, storage rooms. People that ask for laterals, verticals, storage units. So that's what this is pretty much. We've got some, well, mostly 4-door laterals, a couple of 3-doors, mostly 72-inch storage units, and then leather and legal file cabinets, depending on what everyone's preference was. And we had chosen a gray to go in there because there's not many windows in any of those. Didn't want to go real dark. I'm not sure the flooring, is it the same? So that'll look really nice on this floor too. We wanted to keep that kind of light and airy, so because there aren't any windows. Some of the file rooms will have tables. Get that picture here either. Just a work table that'll be again in the same color. That pretty much encompasses what the furniture package that we're looking at.
What kind of gauge is the filing cabinet made out of? Is it a heavy duty or?
It is a commercial grade. It's one that I've used for years and years and years. It's by a company called Global. It's not Global Industries, but it's Global Total Office. And they've manufactured, I've used them ever since for 40 years.
Okay.
And we've sold their cabinets forever.
So the durability is there. Okay.
It is, and some of the cabinets are 42 inches in width, and with those, we're doing, it's getting a little technical, but with those, we're doing what's called front-to-back filing bars, so that you can file 3 rows to the front. Some people are getting 36-inch cabinets. Those would file side to side, like regular lateral files. But we tried to take into account how people like to file. We can't always do the front to back with laterals, but we try the best we can to make sure that everybody gets the kind of filing that they want. And then in a lot of the offices, in a lot of the file rooms, we're doing either legal, and then Mark in yours, we're doing legal. Patty in yours, we're doing letter, just vertical, 4-door verticals. Either, and those are locked. Any questions?
It's beautiful. I love the palette.
do y'all like the coloring?
I do.
Because we can certainly change, you know, we've gone back and forth with some of the colors, but we think it's very soft. Nothing's really just outrageous, but we thought it was kind of classy looking as far as all the colors go, and they all mesh well together.
The circle one, where does that go?
This
The
one,
wallpaper?
this is actually the vinyl that's going to be on these pieces as you walk in.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
And it's gonna have this wood trim around
Mhm.
it, and then the painting on the painted doors here
Mhm.
will be in this.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
little different looking, but I
I
think
like
it'll
it.
be really, it'll pop when people first walk in.
If we go with that way, what's the range of the price? Do we have any idea the amount of money that would be involved?
I don't have an exact amount
Okay.
right now, but with what my parameters were, we have stayed within the budget.
Mhm.
Now, we're gonna be real close to it.
What about getting stuff? Is it gonna be hard?
No, we will be fine having everything here by I'm counting on like the 1st of January. I'll probably try and get everything here the middle of December. If they're going to be finished sooner, we can certainly work on that, but we shouldn't have any problems at all. I've worked with all the vendors, talked to them, and I will have pricing. We're still,
Now, as long as it's within that budget,
we are right on budget. So, yes.
It's really nice, I like it.
There are one or two pieces that I was not able to come up with as far as state contract goes, but I think it's something that probably could be purchased either with a credit card or open market. I know that the,
Tim.
that needed the piece for the meeting room. I'm not seeing glasses, so I can't see. That is not something that's on state contract, but we know where we can get it. We can get one and probably do it in a black and it will be fine. There are going to be some built-ins in some of the storage rooms. It just made so much more sense. Instead of doing racks of shelving to do the built-ins.
Mhm.
Instead, just made a lot more sense and a lot less expensive. So, yeah, we'll be within budget.
thank you. We appreciate what
Well,
you're doing.
I appreciate you bringing this in. I just wanted everyone to kind of get a big picture, make sure we're good with it for her to move on. And
I'm going to leave this with you so that everybody can take a look at it, and if you get a chance to go sit in that chair, please do. We can always change and get something else if you don't like it. You know, that's hopefully where I come in, is I can get you something that you like, that's in budget, that looks good, and that's the whole goal. So, and again, thank you so much to you three in particular. They have been of so much help, and I appreciate everything that they've done to gather up information for me.
thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
And thank your assistant too for being
Yes.
behind
Yeah.
you did an excellent job holding that
There
still.
we
Thank
go.
you.
He's behind the
And
scenes.
I'm just gonna stick this right over here, if that's okay.
Well, it was sitting right here, so put it back.
I love it, it's beautiful.
Yeah, those look great.
Thanks again, ma'am.
That is
Again,
awesome.
Thank you for this opportunity.
All right, moving on. We got great things in Jacksonville. Jason Oldham, I think he's going to discuss some property.
I am, Mr. Chairman. With your permission, before I switch hats to that, if I can make just a quick report on the Amnesty Day that we talked
Oh,
about previously.
yeah.
I'd hope to have better news. I will say Ben Nunley's efforts to get the word out were outstanding. He did a great job. The word got out. Unfortunately, I think the problem is some people may have thought we were trying to trick them to get them here. So we didn't have the response that I was hoping for. However, by affording me that opportunity, some of the people that appeared before the court during the month of May that were in a difficult position, I was able to inform them at that time that this is Amnesty Month. I'm going to do what I can to work with you. And we were able to help a number of people that way. So I hope that those people, if we look at doing this at some point in the future, maybe the word will get out that we're being honest about it, and they'll get better response. But I wanted to at least give you all that update because I know a couple of you had asked me about it. Now, so switching hats, not your judge, but I'm enjoying and really loving the work and the folks here. Police department's great. Great things in Jacksonville. I assisted them with setting up their LLC a couple of years ago and have worked with them on a number of different projects. They've also done fantastic work up at the Legion Hall, which I'm a member of. You all have seen that as well. Gail White approached me about a piece of property at 56 B Street. She said it's at the corner of B and Alexandria Highway, directly across from the community center. This is a piece of property that was previously owned and utilized by the Jacksonville Jaycees, and the deed is still in their name. Gail did all of the legwork trying to run it down, trying to talk to the members of the Jaycees. Unfortunately, their local chapter is completely defunct. So Gail went the next step up to the state chapter. And for the state of Alabama, there is no state chapter of the Jaycees at all either. So she reached out to the national organizations, and they don't seem to be willing to spend the time or effort to help get this property transferred and transitioned. Looking at it from an IRS, nonprofit status, when a nonprofit shuts down, they're supposed to divest themselves of all their assets, preferably to another like nonprofit. Without having anyone in the Jaycees still around that can help us sign a deed, take a vote, get it transferred over to Great Things in Jacksonville, we were stuck trying to come up with other options. Now, I will tell you a couple of the things that Gail has said that she's looking at, and I believe she's discussed it with some of you, is to possibly either do some sort of a maze or a labyrinth setup there that could be a draw for visitors to go into, or possibly, if enough fundraising is done, to build a house similar to other ones there in that area that could potentially be used for veterans housing. These are a couple of the things that she's looking at. I don't think she's made a final decision because a lot of it's going to depend on what kind of grant money she can get and fundraising she can get. She came to me and asked me to think about some way that we might be able to get that ownership out of an organization that no longer exists into Great Things in Jacksonville, which does exist. And my suggestion to her, and the reason that I'm here to present this to the council, is if we could seek the assistance of the city and the city attorney in using the city's eminent domain power to condemn that piece of property that's no longer being used, no longer has any viable ownership, and using that to turn it back into a public benefit, to transfer it to Great Things in Jacksonville with the specific intent that it be developed for the benefit of the citizens of Jacksonville. I provided some of this information to Richard, but also was asked to come and just sort of explain it and the reason why we were asking for that assistance.
What's the worst that could happen if we go and condemn it?
The worst that could happen is you end up with a piece of property. If you condemn it, you get the piece of property.
There's no, I mean, if there's,
It's gonna cost some money to file the
Yeah.
condemnation action.
but and that's not my concern is if there's somebody out there floating around Jaycees or somebody finally wakes up one morning and they think, well, that's our property and that was our club, then
They would have to go through the
they-
process of
Okay.
getting back together and reactivating in some fashion. And I would imagine there's not gonna be anybody that could be served with this petition, so it may be something that's gonna have to be done by publication.
Yeah, okay.
How long has that been vacant?
I'm good.
I know it's been 20 years, I think. They bought the land in 1984. They satisfied their mortgage years ago. There's no liens or debts on the property. I think the one name that was on the mortgage when they signed it was K.L. Brown, and he didn't have any active information about the Jaycees when Gail reached out to him. So it's been quite some time.
Is it tax exempt?
I don't know.
If not,
The Jaycees would have been.
it may still show as tax exempt.
They very well could.
I haven't talked to Gail about this, it just hit me as you were talking about it. I wonder if that might be a piece of property that could be used for a habitat house. I don't know the dimensions of the property, what it's working on, it might be a good organization to make it easier, have a reason for doing it. Just a thought.
And Habitat is saying that they're only building in Weaver and Jacksonville right now, so it's a great opportunity, you know.
It's a narrow piece, of property.
Yeah, the setback's gonna be an issue.
Yeah.
That's what
I was just looking at the,
So,
And I'll be happy to offer my time for any, research or digging or reviewing documents, and I'll be happy to work with the city's attorney on behalf of Great Things in Jacksonville to try and help make it go through.
something we can consider. Let's,
Absolutely.
let's look at it and see. Any questions?
I'm good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
Judge.
Absolutely.
Right, item 6 is the MOU with East Alabama EMS. Chief Wood.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So the MOU that you guys have before you, the MOU that was presented by the East Alabama Medical Services, they are applying or have applied for a grant to be able to help first responder agencies obtain AEDs to put in patrol vehicles. And so they reached out to us and asked if we would be interested in it. Usually these units are probably about $1,200 or more, but through their negotiating in this grant, we can purchase them for about $410 or the 25% match of the grant to purchase them. So they've sent this MOU to see if we would be interested. I think it would benefit us a lot of times, the way we have officers out, to be able to have an officer have an AED in his car and respond to those medical calls, and that sometimes what you call those golden minutes or golden hours to be able to start first aid or CPR, even provide that AED assistance will help potentially save lives for citizens in Jacksonville as officers responding to calls. So
I
just
mean, we'd
wanted
have
to
to
see what
buy.
your thoughts
You're looking at
were.
4 or 6?
I mean, we'd have to buy, chief.
We initially told him that we'd be interested in 4 just to kind of start off.
Now, my understanding, they were like 3,500. The 1,200 was the half of the grant, and then basically 75%.
Correct.
We
Yes,
paid 25% of what it actually cost.
Yes, sir.
So, that's a good deal. I didn't know how many more we could get. I know Chief Cato looked to see how many we need.
I'd buy more than 4.
Well, I don't know how many they had total to disperse.
yeah, how would you just do the distribution among the vehicles?
Yeah,
Is that-
We'd probably divide up so many a shift,
Yeah.
probably, we got about 6 officers a shift, so I think depending on how many we bought, we would just distribute them among each shift.
I think we're looking, I
I think we're
see
good
why
with
we
the-
don't go. We need to figure out how to do it, just figure out what you do.
We good?
I'm good.
So what, you just, I don't think it's actually on the agenda tonight. Can we put it on the agenda? Because I think there was a time crunch for this also.
Yes, sir.
Ken? All right. Any other questions for the chief? Now, he's standing there this time. But ask if you have anything to
At
ask.
least he's not asking for a car.
Yeah. Well, he don't have the white starter shirt on
Well, he
either.
didn't have, he had that white shirt on, I knew it was not.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Chief.
Yeah, sorry, Chief, had to get that one in. But I mean, so we're looking at 4, so.
$410 per unit.
Per unit.
Per unit.
So $1,600.
$1,600.
$1,640.
Why don't we just get 6 and get done?
To me, I'd get, I mean, if we.
Chief,
get the
could you get 2 more? Could you get a total of 6?
Yes, sir.
You get the deal, let's go get 6.
Are they, purposes of the grant, do they have to be placed in patrol cars? Say the mayor wanted one in the back of his vehicle. Could it be placed in his vehicle? Just
I'm
say.
never out moving around.
I didn't know if there, what type of limitations there were. Say we wanted one at the new city hall.
According to this MOU, it's only for first responders. I'm not sure of what the specifics of the grant is, but I can add.
Well, still, of 6, I mean, I tell, as they were saying, you could find a purpose for 6, could you not?
I mean, $410, that's, go for it.
I think we're good with 6.
Yes, sir.
Sherry,
Yeah.
you good?
Yeah.
Andy?
Yeah, I was just looking to see if
I'm good.
it mentioned anything about vehicles, but I don't see anything about vehicles. It just says
Yeah.
first responder agencies.
Right.
So I don't know if the agency having one in, so as you're saying, like in City Hall, if that were to be allowable under that.
I think one that we have here at the police department could be moved to another place.
Maybe.
And then you still have the.
Do you, this is kind of on that, who's doing the maintenance on those from the battery replacement? Is that under any service agreement, or is that?
Most modern AEDs have no maintenance to them. They have a green check as long as, when you're looking in the sight glass, if it goes red, you throw it away, they're unrepairable.
Yeah.
As long as it's green, most of them have a 10-year shelf life. It is what it is.
When it expires by anywhere?
All right, anything else? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Ms. Burke?
Yes, so budget schedule, I know you all just look forward to this time of the year. So you have a draft calendar in front of you for April. And most of the
August.
meetings, I'm sorry,
I
August.
thought say good, we don't have to do this for a
know?
while.
Hey, y'all leave her alone. She's been busy.
You've done a great job with the budget, it's still running.
The month started with an A, that's close enough. Y'all knew what she was talking about.
There you go. At any rate, we really did try to keep them in conjunction with your regular council meetings, with the exception of the first week, which really is a 3-week kind of span in between. I know sometimes we hate the 3 weeks in between meetings, so if you're okay, the first week of August, we can get started with our meetings, and all of the others, except for the first week, is really in conjunction with your council meetings.
I'm good with this, this is, that's good.
So I'm looking for any known conflicts, but.
I'm good.
Okay? Then go with it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Burke allowed me to sit in on a couple of the budget with the department heads. In my opinion, it went real well. Ms. Burke is very prepared when she sits down. I feel sorry for some of the department heads that she's already, and they're not gonna bluff her on anything, so we appreciate all your hard work and the way you bring in the budget. You know, thanks to you and others, we've been blessed the last 6-7 years of having great revenues and staying strong and sticking to the budget, so appreciate that.
Thank
All
you.
right.
That was easy, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, that wasn't the budget meeting.
Yeah.
That was the meeting before the meeting.
Any other business?
Yes. The council has purchased a 65-inch ViewSonic board to donate to the Boys and Girls Club. And we wanted to ask the mayor if he could buy the cart that move it around on instead of mounting it to the wall over there. And if you could get more information from Mr. Tim, because he knows more about it, and he's came up there to see what we could do. But I sent him the picture. Huh?
About $200.
Yes, it's about $200. And I sent you the picture.
I'll work on that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
Where? Go ahead.
One quick question, is the mayor gonna have a TV in his office?
But he won't have any cable
No service.
in the office. I won't
Don't have
mention
any
any,
service?
I won't mention any brand names, but he won't,
A Roku or, I mean.
he'll have a smart TV that will be able to be, Wi-Fi
Okay,
connected.
got it.
Seeing that,
I might need a whiteboard.
still some chalkboards. You can teach math.
We'll go old school on you. Get your chalkboard.
Chalkboard.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I'd do better with that.
Seeing the other day, there were several folks moving about the public square. Where are we on the public restroom?
The portable one?
I know we had talked, had a portable.
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Is there any,
Back to square one.
well, it is a square.
Well, how far away is it where they make them? Can we go visit a place and see where they make them and get a deal?
We were having some conversations last week.
Right, and I think that's really what we want to do with that now, is to find companies hopefully close enough where they can perhaps bring them to a central location that we can send people there to kind of look at them. I don't know, Brenda, it's been so long, I know since we've done it, we need to look back at that. I don't know if there were any in Alabama, any of the folks that did.
Like Arkansas.
All the companies were out of the state.
Yeah, that's
And
what
then, because we've already bid it, and then
Yeah.
did what we did, we'll need to get Richard to verify as to whether or not that could be kind of running on a fine line of, if you go see somebody's and then don't get them to go see somebody else's, well, you did.
I didn't know
Because we've already bid it
why,
out once and then we,
for that price, why can't they come here and bring
Well,
demos?
that's why I say I had one company that was supposed to bring one, and they just quit answering their, you know what I mean? They just didn't, they disappeared into the night, so.
Is this something we really want to do? If we are, then let's figure out how we can get it to work.
What's the
Well, I like
need
to
for
see
sure?
them, wouldn't you? For that, for
It's
For,
what they
well,
cost.
the price difference that we received on that first round, I don't know if we were comparing apples to apples there, because
agree.
when you got $40,000 difference in the price range,
Yeah, it was a big
that's the reason I thought, well, I need to kick the tires, or I need to see it.
The difference in that is that the one that was lower manufactured them, and you were buying it straight from the
Right.
manufacturer. The other one bought it from the
Authorized
manufacturer
reseller
and
of
had to
that.
up the price for
That was it.
Well, my point is, what's illegal about going to these plants and look at the porta potties? Nothing?
No.
All right, then, I think,
Fire department travels all the time to look
Eastbound
at,
and
to look
down,
at
loaded up,
vehicles.
Looking at toilets.
yeah, I think we need to
I
go.
just said we needed to check with Richard to make sure, because we have already bid it out
Yeah.
and had the issue we had with our original bid.
But we're going to
Just
start
make sure
all
that
over
we're not
anyway,
going
right?
against anything.
Well, we,
On that big part.
we pulled that bid, so what difference does it make? Because we'll have to rebid
Is that
it.
still high?
I just like to have specs on the porta potty.
Who you get bids from.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how you choose, when you get that wide range
Once you
of
get the bid
bids.
in, then you look at stuff. My opinion.
How far away are those
Now, I
places?
do know one place where a couple of them here in November could probably go look at one if we end up not having one by then. And Mobile is where we got all of our companies from to send out for the last bid, because they purchased one.
Yeah.
And so when y'all go down south for
Yeah.
the thing, you guys might
Don't we have
ride over
some
there and
CMO
check one
training or
out
something?
there, because they do actually have one there.
I'll go. Since I'm gonna go to the conference in November, I'll go through Mobile and go over. What do you think, Larry?
I'll be out of town.
You didn't know what that is.
Exactly.
That's hunting season.
And I
We
can
go buy
do
that
that.
what day it falls
On
on.
my list service, see if anybody, any other cities in the state of Alabama actually has any that we could just go look at
Sure.
theirs, instead of having to try to work with people that come from Indiana and Nebraska and places.
I guess it's really a Richard question. I think we probably just need to do the bid specs again and bid it. And then once we get bids, see what they have, go look at them where we know, once we know who's bid and who the lowest bidder is, then we start comparing what they
Right.
have.
Or if they have someone that they've already sold one similar to that we
Yeah,
could go,
look
we
at.
could go look at.
Just have to be careful with going and looking at them after you receive the bids, because then somebody could construe it as you're actually there to negotiate whether you are or not.
But you can split
have a right
that
to
20
investigate
different
what you're
ways
buying.
for one. No.
I guess my part is, somebody somewhere could sit down and help us write a bid of a basic porta potty. I don't,
I've got the bid ready. A new one ready, I've already redone it. I've
so,
just been waiting
so
on
the
everyone.
basic. So I guess-
And all else, start throwing up block walls, and you can build something probably for the
Yeah,
for the
we'd
time.
like to have it where we can move it different places. for
I
different
know, but I
activities.
don't know the likelihood of moving something. I mean, because we've talked about,
You know, I think it'd be a good idea to put a site built on there for well in the middle.
I wish I'd thought of that. I wish I'd thought of that.
You know, with the farmer's market down here and the people.
so,
walk-
so that, I mean, that's, again, I don't know, on Saturdays, the building, is it still open?
Yeah, they haven't
So-
opened those bathrooms over there.
Correct, so, I mean, I don't, the proximity of the public square to the new city hall, is that something that is further out, but instead of going that route, that lobby area would be open.
It would be, but the restrooms that's in the lobby at City Hall are single. They're not double. I think they're all single restrooms.
Well, I mean, still, it's a restaurant.
Right, there it is, and there is, that's exactly what I thought. There's still a foyer, there's still an area for them to get out of inclement weather. There are restrooms there available. That's kind of the thought that when we
But
have
when
the
you have
events.
like
But if there's an
Christmas
event,
parade
that's-
and
that's-
stuff like that, you're gonna need more than that.
You do.
I know, exactly.
And they don't need to be, you know, taking up all their restrooms, you know,
Right.
coming in there.
We can, if we're gonna start that process, I mean, the sooner the better. If we wanna go ahead
This
and-
budget
Let
year
me,
that we're in.
let me formulate an idea and we can talk about it. How about that?
Okay.
But I like that.
Bring it back next meeting, decide what
Yeah.
direction.
And we'll have a chance to
Oh, sorry.
think about it.
I didn't do
It
that.
may not be worth it, so, but it's an idea.
Anything else? All right, nothing else. We'll adjourn and be back in about 15 minutes. Thank you all. Call this meeting to order and ask you all to please stand. We've got Dr. Keith Moore from the First Presbyterian Church. He's going to handle the invocation tonight, and we have a special guest that Councilmember Laster wants to introduce to come to the Pledge of Allegiance. And after so, please remain standing. Thank you.
Oh, our special guest is Jackson Green. He's going to the 5th grade at Kitty Stone. And we're so excited to have you do the pledge for us tonight. And your sister, what's her name? Is it sister Charlotte? Charlotte Green is his sister, and she's going to help him too, I think. Glad to have both of you.
All right, all yours.
Attention, salute, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please remain standing for the invocation.
May we pray. Great God of the universe, we come to you today with humble hearts, for though we have fallen short of the mark, you invite us with great loving kindness and open arms. In your mercy, you have sustained our community in spite of our wayward steps. Forgive us, we pray, and set us on the paths of righteousness. Make us the salt of the earth as we engage with our fellow citizens to make Jacksonville a wonderful place in which to live and work. Strengthen our educational institutions so that they can prepare our children for the various roles they will assume in the future. Make all of our churches more successful as they inspire their congregations to perform good works that our society needs. Give us all a sense of responsibility to help the poor who are among us. Please protect our policemen and firemen who put their lives on the line every day to keep us safe. We thank you for all of the city workers who serve in various capacities all over the city. We pray for the prosperity of our businesses, farms, and factories. Help our parents as they seek to make wise decisions while raising their children. Bless them with peace and security. Finally, dear Lord, we pray that the proceedings here will be a model of civility and cooperation, where your will is enacted as it is in heaven. For you are the rock of ages past and our hope for years to come. Amen.
Amen. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Moore. Thank you, Jackson and Charlotte. Job well done. Roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Laster?
Here.
Mr. Galloway?
Here. All right, item 5 is adoption of the minutes. Any questions, comments?
So moved.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 6, the adoption of the agenda. Do we have any additions?
We do. To the main agenda, add item 16A, consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the memorandum of understanding between East Alabama Emergency Medical Services Incorporated for the purchase of 6 automatic external defibrillator AED cardiac initiatives per the attached. To the main agenda, add to item 17, consider action to approve the employment of the following. B is Dylan Scott Paris, Utility Maintenance Assistant, range 10, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273 due to the resignation of Christian Nimley. Item C is Cameron Lee Watkins, Police Officer, range 18, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273 due to the termination of Nicholas Lamb. And item D is Marcus Brady Wells, Police Officer, range 18, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273, and this is a new position.
All right, do I have a motion to accept the agenda as amended? I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 7, proclamations, do not have any tonight. Item 8 is public comments concerning any agenda item. Anything that is on the agenda, this is your opportunity to come in and speak on it, address the council. See anyone come forward, move on to item 9.
Consider action to accept the staff committee report for a request for stop sign at the intersection of Eagle Crest Boulevard Southwest and Hampton Drive Southwest, and approve resolution R-2181-23, amending resolution number 238, authorizing the installation of stop signs at the intersection of Eagle Crest Boulevard Southwest and Hampton Drive Southwest, Jacksonville, Alabama.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and 2 seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 10.
Consider action to accept the staff committee report for a request for sign at the intersection of Eagle Crest Boulevard Southwest and Hunter Lane Southwest, and approve resolution R-2182-23, amending resolution number 238, authorizing the installation of stop signs at the intersection of Eagle Crest Boulevard Southwest and Hunter Lane Southwest, Jacksonville, Alabama.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 11.
Consider action to accept the bid report for bid number 23-08 and approve resolution R-2183-23 to award bid number 23-08 for JPWP number 23-119, test well on Greenleaf Street to Hand Service Company Incorporated, per the attached bid report.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 12.
Consideration of resolution number R-2184-23 regarding agreement with the state of Alabama for the installation of new and upgrades to existing traffic signals located on Alabama 21 at Skelton Street, Alabama 204, and George Douthat Drive.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 13.
Consideration of resolution number R-2185-23 to award bid number 23-07 for JPWP number 23-114, CDBG sewer project along Church Avenue Southeast, Hatcher Avenue Southeast, and Green Avenue Southeast, areas to Gulf Coast Underground LLC, per the attached bid report.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Do we have any idea when that work would begin after, if this is adopted tonight?
It's probably gonna be a month or two away. I don't have an exact start date.
I do know that Church Avenue has traveled very heavily during the academic year. We experienced a paving project on Church Avenue. And with the South Complex coming online for Jack State this fall, I would imagine Church Avenue continuing. So perhaps as soon as we know that date, just to communicate it as much as possible, and that we're their mercies to do the work. But should this be adopted tonight, knowing that will be there in the area where construction for the new Waterworks Gas Sewer Board office and traffic will be heavy.
We seem to always wait to have those in those times.
I'm sorry, what's that, sir?
I said we usually always wait to have those in those times.
Evidently so.
Seems to work out that way.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 14.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement with Alabama Grading and Excavation LLC for the installation of a 6-inch vault for JPWP number 22-101, New City Hall, per the attached.
So moved.
Now, motion to have a second.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 15.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the addendum to the purchase and sale agreement dated June 28, 2023 with John B. Kennedy Jacksonville Retirement Community LLC, per the attached.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If you're not aware, this is a 6-month agreement. I wasn't sure if all was Probably look at it. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item 16.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the memorandum of understanding for participation in the Finder Data Sharing Network per the attached.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion, 2 seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item 16A.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the memorandum of understanding between East Alabama Emergency Medical Services Incorporated for the purchase of 6 automatic external defibrillator, AED, cardiac initiatives per the attached.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item 17.
Consider action to approve the employment of the following. Item A is Bo Cusey, Labor and Street Department, Range 1, effective July 26, 2023, due to the resignation of David Bentley. Mr. Cusey is currently a temporary laborer. Item B is Dylan Scott Paris, Utility Maintenance Assistant, Range 10, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273, due to the resignation of Christian Nimley. Item C is Cameron Lee Watkins, Police Officer, Range 18, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273, due to the termination of Nicholas Lamb. And item D is Marcus Brady Wells, Police Officer, Range 18, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273, and it's a new position.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item 18.
Consider action to accept the resignation of the following. Michael Kraft, Police Officer, effective July 25th, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Consent agenda.
Item 19, budget amendment requests. Item 20, purchases over $7,500. Item 21, disposition of surplus property.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item 22 is public comments for any general item. This is an opportunity to come address the council for any general item. We'd like to have anyone like to come speak, address the council.
Nancy Gillespie with Jacksonville Arts Council. I just wanted to remind all the council members that we are having the Juried Art Show at JSU Friday. And I know all of you got an invitation. We'd love to have you come. 4 to 6.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
Good afternoon, Gary Humphreys, Jacksonville resident, owner of Redbird. 2 weeks ago, I stood here, shared my concerns over the violation of my civil liberties with the city of Jacksonville and some of its employees. I know the city isn't the greatest at communication. Andy alluded to it earlier. Communication is key. We have to get this out with road changes and those kind of things. But we've now been 2 weeks and I haven't received any sort of communication from anybody involved with the city. And I know in my personal life, I have a standard where I get an email, I get a voicemail, I get a phone call. I do my absolute best to return it within the first 24 hours, if not the second. It's just good business practice, and we have to run the city like a business. So 2 weeks ago, still nothing. So I understand part of the reason people think there may not need to be communication is because this pertains to some personnel issues. And I understand that the details that involved directly with the employee and directly correlate to that employee are not being communicated with the general public. Fully understand that. But the policies and procedures that should have came out of those conversations is what I'm here to ask about. And those things should be easily communicated. So since there has been nothing communicated, I can only hypothesize that the city's stance and policies are what they are on that matter. So when I notified the city of this and ask about their stance on the usage of personal social media to conduct what is construed as city business, where am I to believe that that is acceptable? If the city is going to accept this as a policy, my question is how much time and money is spent on this project? And what is projected ROI for this policy if it is implemented? If the city's policy is to use social media to conduct official city business, where can I find a copy of this policy, or where can it be delivered to me? If the city's policy is to peruse social media looking for tax revenue, where can I find the schedule of pages that are being perused and looked at? And if the city's policy is to do this, who is monitoring the process to make certain that no individual entity is being singled out or targeted, and that every individual within the city is being looked at the same? If this is a policy that's going to be endorsed and approved by the city in any manner, when and how will this be delayed or communicated to the citizens of Jacksonville that this is where their tax dollars are going? So, to be very clear, I'm not asking for information about personnel. I'm asking for information about policy. What policies are put in place, what policies came out of this, and what are we doing moving forward as a city? So when I finished speaking 2 weeks ago, I had to write my name down with my email address. I thought I'd be contacted, and I wasn't. So I'm here tonight to let you know that if not by following up and providing me with any communication, you think I'm going to sit by silently and let this go by. I'm here to say, take that assumption and sit back and take notes to see what happens out of the resolution. So thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Anyone else like to address the council? Seeing no one come forward, we'll move on to council member remarks. Anything? All right, mayor's report.
Thank you very much. Last week I stole part of my thunder. You see the announcement up there. I don't know, should you mention the time? It is 4 p.m. Friday. So you have an opportunity to come up to the art show, please do that. And I wanted to remind you about the cruise in on the square on Saturday, beginning at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you have one of those nice, beautiful cars that you'd like to show off, here's your opportunity. Or if not, come up and look at others. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other business that come before the council? Hearing, seeing none, move on to our last item. Ms. Burke.
Consider action to adjourn into an executive session under the provisions of the Code of Alabama, Section 36-25A-7A6, to discuss the sale of real property.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Laster?
Yes.
Mr. Galloway?
Yes.
Thank you all for being here. We will not return. We'll be adjourning in the meeting. Thank you all. Thank you for your concerns.